It really is important to you and I that we continue to build connections for our students, between our faculty and staff and our students, but more importantly, our students, their careers, and the people in our community. And it's one of the things that's great about the partnership that we have with the Western Homes is an opportunity for our students to interact intergenerationally with people at the Western Homes, with employees at the Western Homes, and to be able to give them some real-world experience, in some cases in their profession, and in other cases just in learning to be a member of a community and build a strong sense of giving back to your community and finding your place in a community.
That's our goal as well, is to do our part for the greater community, but be a participant in the greater community. And, somehow senior living gets kind of a bad rap of, in my opinion, that it's a bit of a gated community. But our relationship that we have with UNI and the students, the faculty, everybody, but it's not just about the careers. That's what I get so excited about. It's really just hanging out. That's why we have Gilmore's Pub. That's why we have the event space. That's why we have all the fitness. That just helps us all to get together. And I think together we, along with the rest of the greater community, that's what forms community. So it's great.
Both of our organizations have a bit of a problem in that we serve a very young population, you serve an elderly population, and people outside of those populations have a reticence to come to our campuses, right? They don't know where to park. They don't necessarily know how to interact. Is it appropriate to be here? And your organization's done a great job of bringing those barriers down with places like Gilmore's Pub, the restaurant, all the activities are there, and bringing in weddings and bringing in community events. The university tries to do the same thing in many ways, right, and help people understand where they can park their car, how they can come to the Gallagher Blue Dorn or to a sporting event, or just come and walk around the campus, come and walk around your campus. Right. So both of our organizations have learned a little bit from each other about what it takes to welcome the community and make it easy, at least easier, for them to come in and interact because they don't see the population of people on our campuses as being much like them.
I'm always pushing back against any type of label that they try to, whether it's, especially when we're serving dementia residents, which, again, what the university's doing with that, with your dementia house and everything else and all the effort that goes towards that. But it's like folks want to put a label on us and then they don't know how to interact with that label, and let's do away with all the labels. Right. We're just part of the community.
That's right. I think one of the things that both of our institutions have recognized is that neither one of us would be what we are without Cedar Falls and the greater Cedar Valley, right? That connection has been important to both of us. We've really been able to grow as institutions and become something special to serve our community, because this community has given back, right? Whether it's things like the Deary Suite or the Gallagher Blue Dorn, the financial relationships are there, but more importantly, just support for the missions that each of our institutions have.
That's exactly right, but I think it's also why we as the leaders of those institutions, because we're a number of boards together, we're always at different events together, but that's also us doing our part to make sure that the greater community understands who we are, and what we're trying to do. But thing that I'm really excited about, of course, is that nursing program that you're working on. And I also know the reason for that is because you really measured what the community, it's not just the nursing program, but you're trying to figure out what this community needs, and as are we, with a senior flair. But it's also our whole education center and everything else that we're trying to do. And again, the partnership that we have is great.
The nursing program is a really great example of learning from our community and paying attention to our community. And as COVID hit, it became really clear that the Cedar Valley, the entire state of Iowa, needed the University of Northern Iowa to deliver healthcare education, and in particular in nursing. The need was just so dire. And to have all of the healthcare organizations, especially in the Cedar Valley, the different hospitals, the clinics, the senior homes, reach out and say, what can we do to help? How can we make this happen, right? And so it's paying attention to a community need, trying to build that community, and then reaching back out to the community and say, we're going to need a little help with this. Can you provide us with some clinical sites? Can you help us fundraise a little bit for a scholarship for a few of these individuals? And you can see the connections that are made between the organizations on our campus, the organizations in the community, to really help lift this thing up. And you see it in so many different ways across the Cedar Valley.
And that's why I really appreciate our conversation, because of different gaps that are identified through what we need, but also what, to your point, what all healthcare needs. And man, we can continue to use all the nurses we can get. So, one of the things that we've done is our whole Jorgensen Plaza, and the whole true design around that was, how can we make our campus very much open to the greater community, and have, a lot of times you hear about intergenerational and it feels like most of the time they're talking like K through 5 or K through 12. But our whole goal there was, how do we get retired professionals with young professionals or young students so that they can interact to get some of those life lessons, and just an understanding, because from our seniors, my whole goal there is just to have a space where folks can gather over coffee, over a beer, over lunch, over dinner, of all kinds of generation. And so trying to reach out to get the university perspective on that. And I know you're trying to do a lot of the same thing with opening your campus.
Yeah. Barriers, especially on each of our campuses, are real, right? People have this perception. We have to help our students understand that some of the barriers that they see in front of them aren't really real in the community. That it's okay to go out to the Jorgensen Plaza, engage at Gilmore's, engage with the residents there. And so we've been able to actually embed a lot of community engagement opportunities into many of our classes, and actually get students engaged in their community, involved, whether it's at Western Homes or other areas around our community, Northeast Iowa Food Bank. Say, these are some spaces, they need your help. You guys like to volunteer, let's get you in those. Let's open some of those doors up. One of the areas I think we're really opening some doors is through the Dementia Simulation House, right? And it's a place where our two entities can work closely together, because we're serving both those needs. The Dementia Simulation House really helps people who serve dementia patients, memory care patients, understand some of the things that a person who's dealing with dementia is going through, so that they can serve them better. Whether that's a caregiver, whether it's a family member, or whether it's a business in town that would simply like to be able to better help and support individuals either suffering from or supporting people who are dealing with dementia. And the interactions that our two campuses have had around that, and helping people understand what it takes to care for individuals, is really been fun to watch. The interactions have been excellent. But I really appreciated what's happened on our campus with our students, because they have realized that this is a place they can be helpful, that they can learn a lot, and they can help others. Some of those that are dealing with dementia themselves, forms of dementia themselves, and some who are simply living with people that they're trying to support, and then with business owners as well. And they're developing careers out of this, helping people that need to care for and be around people dealing with dementia. It's been a great synergistic relationship.
I couldn't agree more. Especially that theater group, and coming out and connecting with some dementia, or just folks living with dementia, and then putting together the play. But they're putting together the play by reporting out on the interactions that they had had with our residents. And I'll tell you what, the first one of those I sat through, I was I was so moved. Yeah. And just to hear the students say, now we get it. Now we're not afraid of, quite honestly, what could happen in their own life and with their own family. And certainly took away a bunch of the perception of what that interaction could be like. And I'll tell you, from a bit of a selfish standpoint, we need that interaction. We need some exposure to what needs are in senior living. I mean, our organization, a lot of times we kind of get pigeonholed that we're looking for just caregivers. My God, we got some of the best culinary teams around. Our maintenance, our business office, our HR, our accounting program, all of our just. We just need everything. But to your point, having that interaction together has. We talk about barriers. It's continuing to break down those barriers. And most of the time they are perceptual. But boy, by just getting that experience to work together and to work on something together, I mean, that's always, I still want to take that theatrical team and go a little deeper where we've got our residents that are participating in a play. And it's not even about the play. At the end of the day, what I'd really want is, how'd your day go today? What did you do today? And just, we all need a reason to get up in the morning.
That's exactly right. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun to hear from students and faculty and staff and people from around the area. I'll share one story. I was in my office and I got an email from a person in Peoria, Illinois. And he has a wife who is dealing with dementia, and they were at a restaurant, and she needed to use the restroom, and she can't use it alone. So he was trying to help her in the restroom, and a woman came in and didn't want him in there, so he had to step out and leave her alone in the restroom, which wasn't going well. And then he finally went back in, and someone else came in, and he had to step out. Our women's basketball team was eating in that restaurant, and two of our women got up to use the restroom, and as they went in, he went to leave, and they said, no, are you in here? They realized that he's in there with his wife, who shouldn't be left alone. They said, no, you go and help her. It's okay. It's not a problem. We understand completely. And he was writing to thank me for having a group of students who were that thoughtful and considerate and understood that deep, right? And that was because of their interaction that they had had, not only in the Dementia Simulation House, but some interactions that they had had out at the Western homes and around, right? Sure. So, tears were running down my face. I read the letter, and then I had to take it, give it to our women's basketball coach, and send it out to the women that were involved. But, the depth at which these connections touch not just the lives of our students, but then go out and touch the world, right? They've spread at least to Peoria,
that's right.
and probably well beyond.
That's right. That's right.
Right now, we're wrapping up or coming to the end of our 150th year, ready to celebrate the anniversary. And we've talked about a proud past and a bold future. Much of that bold future is remaining connected to this community, to this state. Our purpose statement is simply the purpose of the University of Northern Iowa is to enrich lives, communities in the world through the lives of our students, our faculty, staff, and our alumni. Our connection has been exactly that. It's about enriching the lives of the people at the Western homes. It's enriching the lives of family members, caregivers at the Western homes. But it's also enriching the lives of our students, of our faculty and staff, because of what the people at the Western homes give back, right? Whether they are people who are your employees or whether they are people who are residents there. They give a great deal to our students, to our faculty and staff through those interactions. Part of it's educational, part of it's just social, a lot of it's emotional, right? So continuing to build those relationships are really, really important, and finding ways that we can break down even more barriers, whether it's to getting people into each of our campuses and getting our campuses to continue to work together. I love that the people from the Western homes are such a vital part of attendance at the Gallagher Blue Dorn, attendance at athletic events, see them at theater productions at the Strayer Wood and musical productions in Russell Hall. But continuing to see that it's all about really enriching lives. And that means finding ways to pull the barriers down so that we can have an impact on other people's lives through our students, through our faculty, staff, and alumni, and through the connections that we build with organizations here in the Valley.
You bet. It's, as we started this conversation, I feel like life is a bell curve, right? We start out here, student, and then, end in the retirement and senior living. And, but what is very interesting to me is our mission statement is Western Home Communities is a charitable Christian service organization which assertively creates fulfilling lifestyles for those who serve their families and our employees. And so that's really what our future is too. How do we continue to create these fulfilling lifestyles? And, what I continue to really believe in, and we are absolutely already moving this way, we'll move it a lot harder, is how to live well. And by living well doesn't mean just working out every day or anything. It's actually what are those different things that help create that fulfilling lifestyle, whether it's over at the university, around athletic events, around the plays, around the music, around just the fine arts that can happen there. But it is also lifelong learning. You and I have had this conversation of you all are trying to, it's who you are. You're very focused on that traditional student. And right now, just having, struggles, I still think there's just a great opportunity for fresh retirees. We've had that career. I'm kind of talking to myself because I'm probably going to get there one of these days. But you've had your career, you've had your professional life. Well, now what's that next thing that you haven't had the opportunity to do? Travel or history or religion, what you name it. Mm-hmm. But to have some opportunity to work with the university, and for some fee, I would think there'd be some fee, but to audit some classes, I just think there's some, we need some folks off of our campus carrying Panther cards.
Yeah.
Senior Panther cards or something like that. And it's all about living well and whatever we can do to support that. And then if we're all doing that, those barriers and everything are going to get broke down. Right. And we're just all going to live in a great community, which we already do.
Yeah. And we haven't talked much about economic development, what our institutions have done to really expand and make this a better place to live. Some of it's about the jobs that we create, and we do create a lot. We hold a lot of jobs in this community, and continuing to create those at wage points that will help bring people in, high-quality jobs with great benefits. But in addition to that, quality of life, right? And in your case, especially for the senior community, what's it like if you work and live here and you want to retire here, what's the quality of life like? And Western Homes has had a big impact on that. But also looking at what else is available to grow the quality of life for everybody in this community.
Exactly.
Because we're not going to attract a lot of people who are 70 and 80 years old to move into the community unless they're pretty local or they have family here. We're going to attract younger people, anywhere from sort of new professionals through middle-aged people coming in for the jobs that are here. UNI has worked very hard on not only having jobs here that are high quality and reasonably paid, great benefits, but making sure that we impact that quality of life through the Division I athletics, through the things that are the cultural events on our campuses, whether it's Gallagher Bluedorn or Russell or Strayer Wood, but also through other opportunities on our campus, opportunities to just gather, great park-like setting, to come and wander around the Campanile and being able to enjoy that. But building a sense of place, building a sense of quality is something that really has been a hallmark of the Western Homes and been a hallmark of UNI. So it's only great that we'd continue to partner on that as well.
Yes, absolutely.
If you haven't had a chance to come out to the Western Homes and check out whether it's Gilmore's Pub or Table 1912 or all the other amenities that are available, take the time. Get out there. It's wonderful to sit down, enjoy a meal, enjoy a beverage, get to know some people that are part of the Western Homes community. It's just a delightful place to spend a little time and get to know some great people who are residents of the Cedar Valley.
If you haven't had a chance to get over and visit UNI lately, you need to do that too. Things are just moving and booming over there. I guess we do have new basketball coach. We've got a football coach in his first year. And we've had the opportunity to actually work with some of the new talents you're bringing on. But get over there. The dining venues are open to the public. Walk around that Campanile. It's just a wonderful park-like environment. And, of course, all of the fine arts that are going on, Gallagher Bluedorn with its remodel. Also, use that business school, too. We do quite often. We've had some marketing studies and everything else. There's just a lot of things that go on over there that you just have to check out because what a tremendous resource it is for not only the Cedar Valley and for us, but for the whole state and beyond.